particular time for the ascent. And then once we're on orbit, of course, you don't really need the handles to help pull you up. It's easier to float around inside the orbiter. I see that we're back to the white room, and we see Mission Specialist Koichi Wakata getting prepared to enter Discovery.
Koichi Wakata is a JAXA astronaut. He'll actually be the first Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency astronaut that'll be a resident on the International Space Station.
That's correct, and I'm sure he's quite excited to get started on that journey. And just a little while ago, we were hearing communications again, not only between the orbiter Discovery.
Go ahead, Ask.
Yeah, I'd like a go for the post-ingress switch reconfig for the drivers, the ohms valves, and GPC-5.
You've got to go.
And that communication was from inside the orbiter Discovery from astronaut support personnel Ken Ham, and he is there with the commander and the pilot now as they go ahead and reconfigure some of the switches. And he was talking to personnel inside the Launch Control Center. And here again is the picture from inside the flight deck as we look across with pilot Tony Antonelli as he gets all settled in there. Occasionally you'll hear some of the communications where they mention step numbers, and that has to do with our launch countdown procedure. We have a very large procedure that covers each and every step that it takes to safely launch the space shuttle, and there's so many different folks that are involved with executing all of these procedures and to make sure
Number 622.
to make sure we keep track that all of these steps have been completed. We have them numbered, and we have folks that that is their job, is to keep track that every step that needs to be completed has in fact been completed.
It's very detailed, and the astronauts actually go through lots of training for that. So I know that they have actually, since they've been here for the past week, gone over the books and made sure they were doing that.
That's correct, and it's not only the astronauts that have all these procedures, but there are just so many other folks here on the ground that are part of the team. They're all very critical members to making sure that we have a safe and successful flight. We have the whole Launch Control Center and also Mission Control Center back in Houston standing by, ready to take over monitoring the mission and helping the astronauts execute all of their procedures once we clear the launch pad. So here at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, the Launch Control Center takes care of preparing the vehicle.
I can verify that the post-ingress switch reconfig is complete.
Copy that.
And again, reporting completion of some of the steps on board Discovery. As we see pilot Tony Antonelli's communication cables getting connected. He now has his helmet on, and we're just getting everything all tucked away into the right position.
Go ahead.
Are you going to be performing the caution and warning volume adjust this afternoon?
Yes, probably in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, copy that. ISL, OTC?
This is ISL.
For step 629, they'll be picking up with the caution warning volume adjust here in a couple minutes.
ISL copies. OTC, DBS.
Go ahead.
Give you GMT, MBT adjust complete step
638.
638.
Copy that. And GNC, OTC?
GNC copy.
We're at T-minus 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 27 seconds and counting. The astronauts are making their way into Space Shuttle Discovery for their launch tonight at 7.
Copy that. You've got to go.
Launch tonight at 7:34 p.m. Eastern here from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. Launch teams are not currently working any issues that would delay the launch at 7:43.
GLS OTC?
GLS.
Okay, we'll give you a go for step 640 per the clock.
GLS copies. We'll put that in work per the clock.
Do you still have a CMTC?
If we can get a CMTC over on 162, and then I do have one step I need to read for you as well.
All right, CMTC, OTC? And GLS, you go for your next step.
Yes, ma'am. Step 641. Step dual interrupt notification will be activated momentarily and may cause re-annunciation of error messages at systems consoles for interrupt monitor parameters currently out of GLS limits.
Okay, I copy that.
And here we're back in the White Room as we see some of the mission specialists lining up, waiting their turn to get into the orbiter. And the communications that we've been hearing probably sound a little confusing to folks unfamiliar with all the NASA acronyms and abbreviations, but in a time where we need to get a lot of communication out in a very short period of time, it works well for us to use these abbreviations. Some of the folks that you've been hearing talking back and forth, or the GLS is the ground launch sequencer. We have computer programs and software that helps us actually execute all of the different physical steps of closing valves and different types of procedures that have to happen very quickly right at the time of launch. And so to keep all that happening, we do have a ground launch sequencer, and we have folks that monitor that and make sure that's all executing properly.
Back on the flight deck, watching pilot Tony Antonelli.
And you can see what he's doing there is you can see some different books. They have these books that they take with them. We call it flight data file. And these are our procedures. And we have all different various procedures, again, in case of any type of emergency. We can switch to a different procedure and safely get the orbiter back to the ground. And you'll notice that pilot Tony Antonelli also has gloves and his helmet on now, so that is all part of that entire pressure suit that we can enclose the entire suit and pressurize that. It also makes it a bit challenging, though, for actually flying task, and if he needs to flip switches and stuff, we have to do it very carefully and deliberately with these gloves on.
There's an actual tube that goes into the shuttle, pumping air in.
Yes, that's correct. While we're on the ground here.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. MS-1's aboard.
MS-1 at 2046.
Back to the picture here from the White Room. To the far left of the picture is a yellow tube type of thing, and that's just a big air vent that we have that we can drag that in through the hatch to make sure we have good air flowing around inside the orbiter while we're putting the crew in there. But you will see us actually remove that before we close the hatch.
OTC, PLT, Comjet.